We're going to pick back up Midwest region and the South region play tomorrow night. And there's some intriguing matchups. Let's start in the Midwest. Purdue versus Gonzaga. These are two perennial powers. Even Gonzaga coming out of the smaller conferences, they're there every year. Do they get Purdue, or is Purdue just built too strong?
I think they're built too strong. I mean, Edey's had a historical year. That's just a guy you can't cover. I mean, 7'4" with that type of skill, that type of physicality underneath. I mean, plus they got guards that can shoot around them. They play defense. I mean, they're a selfless team. I mean, you don't have a superstar on there that, dominates the ball in any way. So they share the basketball really well. So I think they're a complete team. And Gonzaga's played really well, so I'm not knocking Gonzaga at all.
I was surprised at how they dispatched Kansas.
Yep.
They just bounced them.
If you watch Kansas this year, they're terrible on defense, and that's not unusual from a Bill Self team. So I was really disappointed in how they played this year, and it wasn't even the tournament part of it. It was the whole year. I mean, they were terrible on the road. I think they were like 2-7 at one point on the road. Mm-hmm. So this was a different type of Kansas team, but Gonzaga was really good in that game, and if they can speed up Purdue, that's going to be their chance. They can't let Edey and that defense get set on the defensive end and try to run offensive sets in the half court against that. They need to speed it up, get the game into the 80s or 90s, and see what happens. But the problem is Purdue's got shooters, they got ball handlers, they got defense, they got size. So
complete
team to
I'm
me.
picking an upset. I'm going with Gonzaga. They just know how to win.
If
they do.
If they can get up and down the court on Purdue, that's their shot. And force Purdue into their game.
Force Edey to run up and down the court, get them tired, get them away from the basket. So
Alabama played Purdue in Toronto on the same day as the SEC championship game, so nobody really noticed it. But they played with them until they sort of collapsed in the end, which is typical of Alabama this year. I'm going to take Purdue, but I'm with you, Tommy. This one, circle it, because it could go that direction. The other one is in the Midwest, also very intriguing. Tennessee versus Creighton. And Alabama played Creighton this year in the non-conference game. I watched them. Very impressed with Creighton. I've seen Alabama play Tennessee. Tennessee had their way with Alabama. This is going to be a battle royal.
Really evenly matched teams. To me, the difference is Tennessee, I think they're the best defensive team in the SEC this year. I think they play on that level of the Final Four competitors, and I think they got guys that if your offensive breaks down, they can still get buckets because like Connect and those guys can score. How many times he scored 40 points this year? I think that's the difference in the game, especially in a pressurized game, to have an elite player like that to be able to get buckets when your offense kind of breaks down a little bit and goes off schedule. I like Tennessee in this game. I like Tennessee to the Final Four, to be honest.
I'm taking Tennessee, too. They went through a SEC schedule, so they're ready to roll, I think.
And they're fresh because they didn't waste their energy on the SEC tournament.
I do think Tennessee has a bit of the edge. Of the two teams in the SEC built for March, I thought there was Auburn and Tennessee. And Tennessee looks like a complete team here. And the last region that we're going to look at is the South. The lowest seed still remaining with a remarkable postseason run, the Wolfpack of NC State. To run the gauntlet of the ACC tournament, win it, and then to play through to the Sweet 16, quite a run. I mean, you talk about hitting your peak at the right time. They have done it. They're staring down Marquette. And this is a tough Marquette team. I like the Cinderella story of NC State. We all remember Valvano, but I think the wheels come off tonight and Marquette sends them home too.
I got Marquette also.
Yeah, I got Marquette. They play a different style. I think they're going to push the pace a little bit, but they got really good guard play. They got 3 or 4 guys that can score. NC State, that big kid inside, man, he's a load. So if he can get into a rhythm and they go to him early and he can cause some issues down low for Marquette and get some other guys in foul trouble, this could be an upset, but I just got to go with my head on this one and Marquette probably in a close game.
And then the Sweet 16 matchup, perhaps drawing the most intrigue around a possible 1 seed going to the house. Houston versus Duke.
Where's that played? You know where
the South region is playing. Let's see.
That's okay.
Let's see.
It's not at Cameron.
No.
Let's see. South Region's in Dallas.
Okay.
So it's a virtual home game for
Houston. That's a home game for Houston.
Yeah. So Duke is capable. Duke is also wholly incapable.
Right. They've been inconsistent a little bit.
Oh, inconsistent.
Yeah. As streaky a team as you want to look at.
Yep.
With the game in Dallas, I'm going to go Houston.
I'm going Houston also.
I love this Houston team. Defensively, they get after you like nobody else. Their guards get after you. They're athletic. They can get up and down the court. I mean, they can shoot, jump, rebound. They got size. I really like this Houston team to win it all, to be honest, but not knowing what the matchup will be in the Final Four yet. But I do think Duke has been inconsistent. I don't think this is a traditional, like, elite Duke team with super NBA talent. They do have some NBA talent, but Houston's got guard play, and to me, the March Madness is about controlling the game, controlling the pace, and they got two stud guards, and I really like this Houston team.
So that brings us to our Elite Eight picks, and we're not going to see it all the way through because next week we can do the Final Four. But Jason, you and I would have UConn and Illinois playing.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Huskies.
I would take the Huskies in that game. Too much for UConn. To me, UConn is either the best or second best team in the country. Just depends on who they play that night.
Yeah, Tommy, you had
UConn without.
Okay, so your Cyclones are going to fizzle into a depression here.
UConn's in my Final Four.
Okay, all right. So you got Iowa State knocking off Illinois, but not enough to knock off the Huskies here. So we're all in agreement that UConn, as the 1 seed, wins the East and punches their ticket to the Final Four. Let's see what we think in the West. We all have UNC playing Arizona, so we all came through with the same picks there. Who you got, Arizona or UNC?
I like Arizona. I think this is a really, really good matchup. I think they're very evenly matched, but Arizona over the season, to me, has been a little bit more consistent on defense, and I think they're playing good basketball at the right time.
Okay.
I got to go with ACC. I'm going with UNC.
UNC. I'm going to go Arizona with you, Jason, and here's why. UNC has a tougher game tonight than Arizona has against Clemson, and Arizona will be fresher for the game in the quick turnaround.
Right.
So I've got the Cats winning that one.
I had Arizona and UNC in the Final Four. That came out.
Well, you're going to win at least one of them. One of them's going to be in there.
All right. Get it in before we hit the top of the hour. Purdue, Tennessee for me, for Jason. Tennessee do it? Purdue, too strong.
I'm going to pick Tennessee in this game because I think they can pick up the pace. Connect, like I said, is a guy that can get buckets even if your offense breaks down a little bit. I like their defense. I think they'll push Eddie up and down the floor. I'll take Tennessee in the upset. Okay, so Tennessee in the upset. I've got Purdue going on through here. I don't like the pick because Tennessee's athleticism. Right. They can push them. But I'm going to stay with Purdue just on strength of schedule, consistency. But Tennessee's built for March. Yep. And we saw that even with the first round exit. I think it turned out to be the best thing for them. Tommy, who you got? Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that last of the four, we all had Marquette, Houston. And this would be in Dallas. The last ticket to the Final Four. Does Marquette punch through, or does Houston get it done? Houston. I like Houston. I think they're just a better version of Marquette, to be honest. I'm with you. If this game were being played up in Michigan, I'd feel a little better about pulling for Marquette. Right. Houston drew well. Arizona's a 1 seed getting out west and having to play, or UNC, it's the 1 seed out west gets Arizona. That seeding kind of tilts it toward the Wildcats a little bit, but that's what it is. So there you have it. Those are our picks. We'll look forward to hearing what yours are as we all talk Final Four next week to see how we did in our brackets. Gentlemen, I thank you for being here this morning. Jeremy, Tommy, Jason been with you as we've been in for Coach Hale, who is out today, and hopefully be back. We'll talk a lot of basketball next week as we see who is going to be playing for the NCAA championship. So, hey, all have a great day, Northwest Florida. We are out. This is Coach James Hale Show, ESPN 104.3.
In Northwest Florida, the afternoon underdogs Alabama's going to be taking on Charleston. Charleston's a plus 9.5 dog. I think if Bama wins this game, they win by more than 9.5. The problem is, I don't know if Alabama wins this game.